Hello and welcome to my preview of the 2021 Sakura Genesis show, as it is a 6-match card. We have the new championship, the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship, with a whole new lineage, combining the IWGP Heavyweight Championship and combining the IWGP Intercontinental Championship and just one belt, as they revealed the belt a couple of days ago, as probably actually like 5 or 6 days ago, as you're probably seeing this. As the belt itself, it's tough because I think it's a if you had to rate it at like 1 out of 10, I'd probably give it like a 6. It's all right, it's nothing crazy, but it's just not on the level of like the IWGP Heavyweight Championship of the past, and the Intercontinental Championship is like one of my favorite belts in wrestling history. I love that belt to death. It just looked beautiful, but alas, it's not that. We have also the co-main events, the Junior Heavyweight Tag Title matchup, and we have the mystery man behind who's going to join the United Empire here, who's going to be, and that's the third match on the card. But before we get to all that, though, of course, we're going to run through the rest of the card. As the opener, it's a 6-man tag, as it's Suzuki Gun Bullet Club, so heel versus heel. You have Zack Sabre Jr. Taichi taking on, and Doki, rather, taking on the Guerrillas of Destiny and Jados. Obviously, you have the tag titles, the history there between those two teams. I always have hoped for Dangerous Tekkers to be champions, and just anybody other than God for the longest time with this tag team division. But with this opener, it really doesn't matter. That's not a great opener, though. I am not a fan of this opener at all. There's just nothing that really excites me about it. I get it, though. It's New Japan undercard. But that's just heel versus heel. It's not I would not have that be the opener if that was me, but I get it, though. You kind of have to put it somewhere. But I'm hoping Dangerous Tekkers gets the win, just because I feel like they deserve the win more, and they could, they'll do Zack Sabre Jr. Taichi against the Guerrillas of Destiny at just maybe Dominion. Maybe they'll finally change the belts there. But I feel like they just dragged that on for so long. I'm just kind of over it already before it's even that match has happened, because they should have beat them back at Wrestle Kingdom's the whole goddamn thing. But the next matchup, it is a 10-man tag. It is Chaos versus Bullet Club. Wouldn't be fucking Chaos and Bullet Club without, a little fucking 10-man tag on a show. As Kazuchika Okada, Toru Yano, Hiroki Goto, Tomohiro Ishii, Yoshihashi taking on Dick Togo, Taiji Shimura, Yujiro Takahashi, Kenta, and Evil. You have, obviously, Okada and Evil. They've had their history so far, just as far as 2021, they're really trying to push that narrative, it seems like. They'll probably have a Dominion match. Obviously didn't cross paths with the Cup, as Okada's wrestling with just a fucked up back. Like, he's been working with I think there was 2 spinal disc, or bruised, or just like, forget exactly the exact details of that injury, as I don't have. I guess I can look it up real quick, but it'd be a whole thing to Google. But he's basically had a fucked up back for at least over a year now, I want to say. I hope I'm not misquoting that, but he's walking around with a fucked up back and still is one of the best, and has had some of the best matches even in 2021. Like, it's just been insane, his level of he just going through those injuries, man. That's what those New Japan heavyweight guys, they have to go through a hectic schedule. Nakamura, his injury list was a mile long. I'm assuming Okada's going to join that, with if he keeps it up with all these years in New Japan. I mean, it's a tough schedule for anybody. At least they had COVID last year to get a bit of a break. I said that when it happened last year. That was probably the first time those guys had a break. A month off, not even just a month off, 3 months off of any wrestling in probably years, probably since they began training. So I just can only imagine how, for the guys like Okada's fucking working with 2 slip discs at his back, could, that was desperately needed. I'm assuming they'll still have him be on the Dominion card, which they'll probably do him and Evil, which that's not it's kind of crazy. That could definitely be like a main event if it's for like with the title and whatnot. But That's not really the picture. So it's a big time match like on paper, and they've had good matches in the past, but just not with this version of Evil. I don't think it could happen. So it's fine in the undercard. As far as anything else, though, Kenta and Goto maybe could have something in the future. Kenta and Ishii could have something in the future. But really, other than that, really the main focus on this 10-man tag is Okada and Evil. But also, I just realized the openers have got a 20-minute time limit. So that even makes that opener even fucking more and more throwaway. As for the as far as who's going to win this, I'm gonna go with Bullet Club. Heel's getting the win at the Sakura Genesis show. As the next match, third match on the card, it is Los Angeles De Japon, Tetsuya Naito, Sanada, and Shingo taking on Great Khan, Jeff Cobb, and the mystery person for the United Empire. Man, I really have no idea who the fuck this person is going to be, because obviously it's going to be somebody who's a part of like the New Japan roster, or at least is someone in Japan, because you can't really still. I think you could still fly people in now. It's a little bit more lenient, and it's a lot more the borders are really open up, and especially now the vaccines are getting pushed out. Really, COVID's becoming a thing of the past more and more as we get to going. Here in the States, the vaccines are getting pushed out pretty heavily now. It seems to be going, and I still don't have mine scheduled, but I'm luckily, fucking knock on wood, I don't think I ever had COVID. Didn't have any symptoms, so if I did have it, I was asymptomatic, but I went through that whole year COVID clean, so that's great. But obviously you'll still need the vaccine because it seems like they're gonna want that vaccine if you want to be in a store without a mask. If you want to be in a sporting event without a mask, you're gonna need that card to really show that, hey, I don't have the virus. It's okay, I've got the vaccine. But for this mystery man, I would love it to be somebody of a big name, like especially in this 6-man. You got, 3 big stars in LIJ, Tetsuya Naito, Sanada, and Shingo. Obviously, Naito and Great Khan have their history with the New Japan Cup. Poor Shingo, made it to the finals, lost to Ospreay, and then Sanada, who didn't really face anybody from the United Empire side. Oh, yeah, they did face Ospreay. As, Jeff Cobb, Great Khan, it just feel like, looking at what the United Empire is all about, you got Ospreay, obviously, and you got the 2 muscle guys. Is it going to be another junior? Is it going to be somebody to take on Shingo? Someone to take on Sanada? You really got to kind of pinpoint who's going to be the next guy as far as what sense it makes for the stable. I know a lot of people kind of suggested maybe it's Robbie Eagles, which that would be... I love Robbie Eagles, so that'd be a fun addition. I think that could help Ospreay out too, having a tag guy that he's worked in the past. Making the Eagles heel might be a bad decision, but it's not like he's in Bullet Club, and looks like he hasn't. With the pandemic, you could bring somebody in that has a different affiliate and make the turn there. This would be a perfect time for that if it's somebody that's a part of the New Japan roster already and making that turn. But it could be somebody brand new. It could be someone, I really have no idea. This is as much as a mystery. As far as tuning into the show, I am excited for the main event. But right now, the second most look forward thing on this card is seeing who that guy is. I really have no idea, and I'm intrigued to see who it is. They have a great piece already. The Empire. They've already got some great pieces. They just kind of need some complementary pieces to really make it a complete stable. But I'm assuming that the debut guy's going to get the pin. That's a big time pin, though. You got Naito, Sanada, and Shingo. Would be wild if Naito also takes another fall. I don't think he will. Shingo maybe, because Shingo just made it to the finals. He has that momentum to where he'll be fine if he takes the fall here at the Sakura Genesis. But yeah, that's going to be nuts. Someone's going to have a big day, a big debut for New Japan, I tell you that much. As the next matchup, bit of a step down, I'll be honest, especially compared to, I felt like the 6-man should have been on, should have been the 4th match. They should have flipped these. As Satoshi Kojima and Hiroshi Tanahashi, what a fucking dream team that is, taking on Bad Luck Fale and Jay White. Obviously, Jay White and Tanahashi, they have their history. It's also seeing Kojima and Tanahashi team, but Bad Luck Fale, if this was well, not even 10 years ago, you'd still be a young lion. If this was 5, 6 years ago, I'd be a little bit more excited that Fale's in this match. But obviously, Fale's not the same guy he was in the years past. But it's awesome to see that he's gonna. I mean, it's still an undercard match. I guess a mid-card match at this point, since it's the 4th match. But obviously, he's the the 4th guy in this match. You got Kojima and Tanahashi. That you have that legacy. Obviously Jay White. But I feel like this could be finally having the Bayface getting the win with Tanahashi, Jay White. Obviously, they've had their history though, so it really could go either way. But yeah, that's another. If that's a Dominion match again, that's fucking nuts. That's I would love, because I know that match is going to be better than that Wrestle Kingdom match if they ever do. Because obviously everything has been better since that match. Their New Japan Cup matches and their fucking and their G1 matches. I'm trying to think if they had any other, like a New Beginning match or anything off the top of my head. I don't think so. But yeah, I mean, obviously it's not going to be worse than that match. So I'm all for it. But either way, though, imagine if Kojima pins Jay White, though, that'd be sick. But obviously that's not going to happen. But they're interesting, though, to see where they go with that. They got a lot of different options there to go with. As the co-main event, the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team title matchup. Roppongi 3K, the challengers, Sho and Yo taking on the champions, Yoshinari Kanemaru and El Desperado, looking to make their first defense of their championship. So Yo's coming back from an injury. This is perfect opportunity to have Roppongi 3K go on a bit of a run and give Despi a chance to focus more singles-wise. Because, I mean, he's a star, I think. He's had the match with Ibushi. He had the match with Romu last year at the Best Super Juniors Finals. I mean, I feel like he's really solidified himself as a top junior in New Japan. I think he should be treated as such and kind of get away from this junior heavyweight tag division. It's kind of what I'm hoping for. But I don't think Ghetto's going to sway from that. I feel like he kind of gave Despi his year, and now he's going to go back to different things and keeping him more as a junior tag guy. That would suck. I would be bummed out if that happened, but I'd understand why that was the case. But as far as I'm hoping for a Roppongi 3K win, it's fingers crossed on that one. As the main event, IWGP World Heavyweight Championship matchup, Kota Ibushi taking on Will Ospreay, as he's the first champion. He's making his first defense as Will Ospreay, winning the New Japan Cup, now taking on Kota Ibushi. I'm trying to remember the last guy to win the New Japan Cup and to go on and win the match at Sakura Genesis. Because obviously, you had it last year. It wasn't at Sakura Genesis. It was at Dominion. So technically it doesn't count, although that was the last guy who did it. Being evil. But I'm trying to think, because it wasn't obviously Shibata, which, talking about that Sakura Genesis 2017 card, like that card, compared to this card, I was 1,000% more excited. It was, cannot fucking wait for that card and for that main event compared to this, where it's kind of like, maybe my excitement levels maybe at a 10%, maybe 5 even. It's not great, especially compared to that show. And that, like, you had that match, and then the co-main was crazy because it was Kushida and Hiromu, and it went like 5 minutes. Hiromu beats him like fucking out of nowhere. It was awesome card. That was just a fun show. But for Kota Ibushi and Will Ospreay, trying to think, because it wasn't Shibata, wasn't Zack Sabre Jr. What? Oh, that's right, it was Kazuchika Okada, because it was Okada Jay White at the G1 Supercard show in the US, and he beat him. So, wow. So, so far, there has not been a winner of the New Japan Cup who has beaten the guy at Sakura Genesis. Now, that happened twice, and that was, at Sakura Genesis, but the past two, though, you had Evil in 2020 and 2019 for Kazuchika Okada. It's just, it's wild. It's wild. I couldn't tell you who it was before then. It was probably like either Nakamura, Bushi, or Naito. Because that's mid 2010s. That just sounds about right. But yeah, I mean, that's just kind of funny how we're kind of at the point now where we've had some guys win, we've had some guys lose. It should be presented as a 50-50 thing, but I just don't see Will Ospreay getting the win here. I think this is where, Ibushi gets the win and also keeps this legacy going as the first champion, and maybe he'll drop it at Wrestle Kingdom. Maybe he'll drop it at later on in the year. I really have no idea where this path ends for Kota Ibushi, but it is very interesting how this is, the World Heavyweight Championship, right? This idea of when you think of a World Heavyweight Champion and you think of a heavyweight wrestler, these two are very interesting candidates. Obviously, two men who dominated in the junior heavyweight scene. Kota Ibushi was setting the world on fire in like the mid 2000s and early 2010s in the junior division. Moves up to heavyweight for New Japan in 2013, 2014. As after really the crazy Dominion match with Ricochet, and I think I think it might have been his last junior match was maybe against Devitt. Was that Wrestle Kingdom 8? I want to say that might have been the last one. Basically, 2013, 2014, somewhere around there. Definitely was 2013, because 2014 he takes on Nakamura. Wrestle Kingdom 9s. Yeah, we got the time. We got to figure it out. As I was, was that? Yeah, that was 9. Okay, so that was 2014. But yeah, that whole shit was crazy. It's just crazy to think about when you have you're thinking of world heavyweight champions. Maybe more the lines of like the Okadas, the Tanahashis, even the Gotos, the Ishis. That would be the thinking back, 10 years ago, 15 years ago. But here in 2021, when you have a world heavyweight champion, it's two guys that are obviously workaway guys and guys who have Ibushi's been, I think, a big star for New Japan past 6-7 years. He's getting up there in age, weirdly enough. I know it's kind of he's part of the 1982-1983 club, so those guys are now in their late 30s, and it's just wild to think that he's not in his prime of his career. He still can be. You see Tanahashi, still going strong, 40 plus, but he's creeping up there. So you're thinking that this new championship, this new title, could start with a new lineage, with a whole new cast of guys who never even had an IWGP Heavyweight title match. You're seeing it here with Will Ospreay. That would be, as much as he sucks as the person, and how much he does some stuff that maybe is, you should probably do things maybe a little bit differently in the ring, whether your coils may be for him. You can't deny that I think he does deserve this title match, just for in-ring wise. I think as far as what he's built in New Japan in the past, 4 years probably. Because I don't think it was 2016 when he joined with New Japan. I want to say it's 2018. Maybe it was 16 though. Yeah, time has escaped me. I want to say it's 2018. But it's just crazy how these two, they are kind of destined for each other, as far as that's a great match on paper. The Wrestle Kingdom match was very, very good. Very dangerous, very, very crazy, and it was kind of built on for the Never Openweight title match. And here, you fast forward just a mere, other time frame, we got Kota Ibushi and Will Ospreay for this brand new championship. It should be a banger of a match. I don't think it's gonna suck or anything like that. I don't think, Ibushi's title reign so far has been interesting. I think it's kind of going to be overshadowed by Shingo when it's all said and done for this year. Just Shingo's had just an incredible first 3 months. It's going to be tough to top. But he does have the G1 coming up, so he can catch him on that end. But it's if he does beat Will Ospreay, which I think he will, I think it's going to have another great match for him that kind of keeps the thing going. Because the Sonata match wasn't great. Could have been a lot better, and I don't think it was the talk of the New Beginning tour. I think that was, Tanahashi and Shingo. So again, he's getting outplayed by Shingo, but it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for him. I'm excited to see that main event, though, because I think they're going to do some crazy shit, and I think they're going to try to top the Wrestle Kingdom, which that match was crazy in itself. But my hat's off to him. Fair fucks to him. Maybe they'll do it. Maybe they won't. We'll have to wait and see. As the Sakura Genesis show, it's kind of crazy how quickly, obviously, you kind of forget, now that we're back into the regular season, regular schedule, for New Japan, how the schedule, it just flows so organically. You know, that the old New Japan schedule is kind of, you know, the COVID year. Everything just felt so jam-packed and fucking mushed together now. Everything's kind of flowing organically to where once it gets to the G1, it's going to feel like, oh, wow, you know, the best is still yet to come type of thing, instead of like, oh, during a pandemic we get this treat. It's exciting to be back to normal. But hope you all enjoyed the show. Let me know what your thoughts are, your predictions for the show. As not really sure, probably we'll be able to do a review for this. We'll be watching, because I'm very excited to see who the mystery man is, see how that main event goes. Co-main event, you know, I'm excited to see how Sho and Despy do. They should, and then Yo and Kanemaru are just kind of there. But I mean, it should be a decent little show. So we'll wait and see. But thank you all, and we'll catch you for the review of said show.